I didn't just get to perform and, dance and sing and be the crazy person that I like to be, but I got to bring something that no one has ever seen to the show before. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. Hi, how you doing? It's great to see you. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mal. I am a singer, songwriter, dancer, actress, basically an overall performer, and I happen to be deaf. So on my channel, I do a lot of music, performing, and bringing awareness to the deaf community and deaf culture. So please make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified of whenever I post. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and do not forget to say hello in the comments below, because I love connecting to every single one of you. And also, guess what? I answer every single comment. So if you can tell by the title of this video, your girl was featured in an article. Yay! So before I even start talking about this, I just want to say thank you to everybody that was a part of this. I want to say thank you to the casting director, the associate director, the choreographer. This whole season was amazing, and my last day on the Snowflake was on Saturday, and of course during my last moment during the show I was a little emotional because I had realized the impact that I made this season, and I would just I ended the season with a sense of feeling of being proud and just so much growth and motivation and encouragement to keep going, and it just, wow, it brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it. So the article was about me being the first deaf performer to take the HELLOOO stage. This year, I didn't just get to perform and, dance and sing and be the crazy person that I like to be, but I got to bring something that no one has ever seen to the show before, and that's deaf culture and deaf community and American Sign Language. I still can't wrap my head around it. Before I even started rehearsing for the show, I got to do a workshop with the cast, and the cast, I can't even say enough incredible things about you guys. They were amazing. Everybody in the cast was fantastic, open-minded. They had an open heart, an open mind, and they were just so curious and they wanted to learn, and I saw so much teamwork and support in this cast, and that's so important in the entertainment industry, and so much so important everywhere. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, as long as you have support and teamwork, that's all that matters. But the amount of teamwork and support that I saw in this cast was mind-blowing. My mind was blown. I am blown away. The assistant director and the casting director were like, hey, we want you to give the cast a workshop, and we want you to educate us on how we can be more inclusive, the do's and don'ts of deaf community and deaf culture, and how we should work with you and how we can work with you better. When they told me that, I was like, first of all, I got nervous because I don't really like standing in front of people and speaking. It's weird because I can stand in front of people and sing, but I don't really like speaking in front of people. I feel like I'm giving a project, a presentation or something, and so it was really, really weird, but I was like, I have my interpreters here, it's okay. I got to, ask them questions and play with their mind a little bit, see what they had. If I have my interpreter here, how should you communicate with me? Do you talk to the interpreter or do you talk to me? And of course, if it was wrong, I'd be like, what, that's a good answer, but that's actually incorrect. This is what you should do instead. They were just like, okay, cool, thank you for letting me know. And a lot of the time, if they said something and I'm like, they were like, girl, please educate me because I don't know. And I'm like, I'm happy to. I feel like all my life, I've been bringing awareness and educating people and informing people of how to communicate with deaf people, how to make it better for deaf people. But, a lot of the time I've been told, if you ask for this, you're a burden. If you need this, you're an inconvenience. And so not only was I breaking the mold for the deaf community and deaf performers, but I was also breaking a mold for myself and telling myself, you know what, you're not an inconvenience if you ask for an interpreter. You're not an inconvenience if you ask for more accommodation and more accessibility. You're not an inconvenience if you ask for anything that will help you to be the best, employee and the best performer wherever you are and wherever you work. And so not only were they learning and, growing and stuff, but I was also learning and growing in this time as well. So I'm so grateful for everything. This year, when I got to rehearse and everything, the assistant directors and the choreographers, they were so open with the show and, making sure that I had visual and physical cues, making sure that I had vibrations in the stage as well. So visual cues would be someone pointing their your hand this way or whatever, I knew that that was my time to say my line. And so they were just fantastic and so open-minded, and it was just amazing how they were just willing to work with me and stuff, and they were just willing to make this show more accessible and more inclusive. And so I think that's what's beautiful about this year, is this show has so many special places in the hearts of many. I feel like this year was even more special because we not only got to spread holiday cheer, but we got to spread awareness about something so important and like something that I'm so passionate about and a lot of other people are passionate about. And so like opening night, the kids, you know, in the deaf and hard of hearing section, and I saw their faces light up. I got emotional because I was like, oh my gosh, they're deaf, they're hard of hearing, they're like me. I'm representing my community and my culture. And so when I got to interact with guests that were deaf or hard of hearing and I got to communicate with them in ASL, I saw their faces light up. And I think that's what's so beautiful about this year, is that you don't get a lot of deaf or hard of hearing performers at theme parks. And so this year, when I got to break that mold and set the standard for what a deaf or hard of hearing performer should have, it brings tears to my eyes because I realized, like, oh my gosh, like I realized the impact that I made, the people's hearts that I reached, and like the inspiration that I started. And like I'm inspired to keep going, and I hope that inspires other deaf and hard of hearing performers to keep going, because you know, unless we make noise about something that's like so important, and unless we start speaking up and saying, hey, this is what needs work, nothing will ever change. And so I noticed so much change this season. I noticed so much change in other people that I worked with. I mean, like the cast, they were just so open-minded and they wanted to learn ASL. So like every day I had someone ask me, hey, how do you sign this? How do you sign that? I was teaching them like basic ASL, like how are you? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, you know, something like that. And when I was on set with them, they would communicate with the kids. They would say, this is how you say Merry Christmas, and this is how you say Happy Holidays. And I was just like blown away. It was just crazy just seeing how supportive and how much of a team we all were. They wanted to make sure that this show was accessible to everybody. And the interpreters, I wanted to work with them on the sign language for the show, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, it's not only pure ASL. I wanted the hearing audience to see, like, I'm a deaf performer, this is what I'm doing. And I didn't realize it, but like even hearing people were blown away. You know, they would come up to me and they'd be like, oh, I'm learning ASL, like my ASL might be bad, and I was just like, no, that's fine. Like I'm happy you're learning. I'm happy you're opening your mind and you're learning about ASL and deaf culture. And it was just so fantastic. And I got to interact with guests over FaceTime. Like literally people would come and they would say, and they would hold their phone up and they would have their deaf family member or their deaf friend, and I would sign to them over FaceTime, and it was just crazy. It was amazing. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I loved how much of an impact that I got to make. And you know, not only like for guests, but I also got to make an impact for, you know, other performers and other deaf or hard of hearing performers to come, because even people that are in the acting industry, I mean, like Mallory, she had to fight for deaf performers to be in Coda. There was another movie called A Quiet Place. I mean, the director for that had to fight for a deaf performer for that movie. It's 2022 and there's still a lot of, you know, progress to be made, but we're starting to make that progress. And so I'm so glad that I got to set the standard and, you know, encourage people and inspire people and make some noise and bring awareness and spread awareness is something that's so important. And so it's insane, and I feel really, really proud, and I feel like I've accomplished something. I was signing in the last moment of the show and I was like, oh my gosh, I did this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Make sure to go subscribe. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to hit that bell so you're notified whenever I post. And also make sure to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And I will see you guys in my next video. Happy New Year. Love you guys.